Man, it feels good to be back. Welcome back to the video. My name is Larry, aka Speedy Black. I'm gonna put a car mod on, and to do so, I gotta go to the local auto store. This is the only hint. Taking some time out to see if I can get an install done today. Yeah, I get it. You guys didn't come see me. Came to see the queen. Still over here. And you guys gotta check this out. The rain, the hail. If you can see, I was in Austin and we caught a hailstorm. Not used to that kind of thing down here, but let me see if I can get some swirly reflections where you can see the. So the part that I'm gonna try to fix today is this guy, this Ninja Turtle green. Oh, you know what? It's actually still really hot. We're not gonna touch it today. Man, shout out to FedEx for letting me know I have a package by throwing it on the ground right next to my door. Lucky I was home to hear it. I ran and I opened the door. And he's like, oh, heavy. Heavy. It's like trying to, that's how he's letting me know, you know, that's what it was. It's because it was heavy. Looks like the new rotors. Looks like the new rotors are here. It is actually heavy. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if that. I got two rotors, I got brake pads. I was gonna try to do a brake install myself, but I'm running out of daylight now. It's getting kind of dark out there. Yeah, FedEx, have your peoples do it right. I know it's heavy. So after getting the lowering springs in, one of the things I noticed about the car is there's this, like, even somebody in the comments hit me up about it, the little bit of gap right there. And I think the thing that I'm worried about, to be honest, is how much space I can pull it out before when the car starts to go over bumps and bottoms out, that it's going to actually rub the tire. Right now it's pretty good. I don't see any tire rub happening. It's just all gravel from the street. So anyone who has a Mustang S550 who's already done wheel spacers, let me know, especially if you've had two things. One, a heavy driver, like weight heavy. And two, if you've supercharged it even, because I will add the supercharger to the car, should make it real nice. The reason why I'm in the garage is 2 in the morning, and the last time I did one of these installs, I actually forgot to show you guys the parts. Tomorrow I've got another appointment for the car, which is out there in the dark. We're gonna get one of the last pieces that I needed done on the car before I felt comfortable supercharging it. Here inside of 2 of these boxes are those pieces, so I'm just gonna open these up, pull out what's important, and then we're gonna skip to tomorrow. Since there's no sense beating around the bush, I know that this is one of them. Inside of this really cool Ford Performance box is another Ford Performance box. Is another Ford Performance parts box. Here it is, baby. So for the GT project, I went with the Ford Performance rear axles. These things are way heavier than I thought, but that makes sense. These things are 1,500 horsepower rated. I don't plan on putting more than 1,500 horsepower in the car, but from what I was told, if you want to do a lot of burnouts, if you plan on doing any sort of dig racing, which eventually I do plan on doing with the car, just the stock axles won't hold up. You gotta get yourself something beefy. And when I go to the gym now every single day. This is significant. Obviously, there's one on each side since there's independent rear suspension. You basically don't have one long axle in between both wheels. You have 2 of these that go from the differential, one on each side. So I bought them. They're ready to go in the car. To kind of give you guys a weight estimate on one of these, based on how much I curl, this is not a flex. It's literally me trying to tell you the weight. It feels like maybe 35, 35 pounds. Once I install both of these, I won't have a problem with my car breaking down under how much power I'm putting down, but there's still one thing that I have to solve, which is the wheel hop. Anybody who has an S550 Mustang or anywhere in line with that generation, probably even the new ones, might be familiar with what happens when you just try to take off from the line. You get that tire feel. So there's one more thing that I got I'm gonna show you guys before the install tomorrow. I think just based on size, it's this box here. And I was right. The other install going in tomorrow are these little braces. So these right here, I'll give you a better look. I had a choice between black and red. You guys already know why I got the red. So these will basically be the first step in adding up a little bit of more beefiness to my suspension to make sure that I don't get as much wheel hop. And honestly, that's what I care about the most, is being able to launch, because if I get a supercharger, especially on these Mustangs, which are known to crowd surf from time to time, I at least want to make sure that I'm being efficient about letting my car put power to the ground so that I have more control over how the car is putting power to the ground and what direction is putting power to the ground. With wheel hop, if you're gunning it and you got a lot of power, I think it kind of makes your launch a little bit unpredictable, especially if you turn traction control off. So I will say, funny enough, and I'm hot opening all these boxes. The one thing that I did notice was when I put on the lowering springs, I think the ride got worse. Like my ride quality got worse, but not in the sense that like it's more bumpy vertical, but it feels like, you know what I mean? Like my car salsa dances now when it goes over a couple of bumps. So that's actually kind of had me concerned a little bit. So I'm gonna still put this on, see what it feels like. But again, the goal is supercharger for my birthday. So I needed to get the rear axles done so that they can handle the power and I don't snap the driveline in the back. And also I needed to start with this to make sure that when I do get supercharged, when I do put my foot all the way down, that the wheels don't pop, 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 pop as they take off. And just to show you guys that the show goes on, another box from American Muscle. Another box from American Muscle. So over there is just the stuff that's going on tomorrow. And I'm paying a shop. I'm going back to Soul Speed to get that done. They can just get it done while I work tomorrow. And I have my own install that I'm gonna be doing hopefully this weekend. And it's not over because there's another part I gotta put on there. It's tomorrow. That now makes it today. Now that the car's lower, it actually is a little, just that much harder to get into as a tall gentleman. So good morning. We are on the way back to Soul Speed. I'm gonna drop this thing off, and by the end of the day, cradle lockout kit will be done, rear axles will be done. This car will officially and finally be ready for supercharging. And we made it. About to drop the car off at none other than Soul Speed. And really quick before we go in, I got a treat for you guys. Look at the lineup today. Look at the lineup today. This is for Jenny, old school Range Rover, you know, something light. This right here, I don't even know what the hell this is. It's like presidential, you know, caravan, but then you got the Mark IV right here. Looking nice, BBS wheels. Right back to a time, damn, I don't know if I could ever fit in one of these, but I've always loved the Supras. Man, look at this shit over here. Let's see if I can frame it right. They're staring at me too. I don't have any food, guys, I'm sorry. The part now where I gotta get a lift back home. Looks like it's gonna be a $40 ride this time. So like we always do, you gotta add that $40 on top of the price to get your parts installed. One thing I want to ask you guys about is if you take a look, these are 19s. They're a little tucked underneath the car. Let's see if I can like do it from an angle. It's hard to see, but they feel like they're inset a little bit more than I would like. And I'm thinking about upgrading to 20s in the front, 20s in the rear, or maybe 17-inch street radial bead locks in the rear. But yeah, thinking about adding some new wheels to the car just to. Here's the thing. The 19s are not as wide as like GT500 tires. You know, I think those are 325s if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere around there. And I think mine are 275s. Let me just read it off the damn tire. Yeah, these are 275. So the concern I have is when I put the supercharger on there, and I'm talking 830 at the crank, maybe 770 at the wheel, something like that, hopefully. When that happens, it's gonna make this car a fast motherfucker. And so, or I should say, it's gonna make it a powerful motherfucker. If you know your physics right, it's gonna be more powerful than it's ever been. So I don't think I want to keep the stock tires anymore, because I want to be able to put that meat on the ground, you know, pause. It's not really a pause, but I want to be able to, oh, they're having a conversation. Look at, they're over there plotting. Let's see, a Toyota Century. That is the car. It's a Toyota Century and a Toyota Supra. Crazy. Should I trade my car for some JDM? Ooh, hold on, he turned mine on. It's not often I get to see mine, you know what I mean? It's not often that I get to see somebody taking mine in, so we're just gonna appreciate it a little bit. Yeah, buddy. It's a beautiful car, guys. I know Mustangs, you can get a Mustang, you know, for the price of a good summer job. That's your down payment, and you know, not too bad of a monthly payment. But I gotta tell you guys, I love my little Mustang. I've been working on it for so long. I'm super excited about finally getting a chance to finish the car. I literally just walking around the parking lot waiting for the Lyft driver to come. That's it, and then we'll do this one more time at the end of the day when I come pick this thing up. This is a flat, long, and it's gonna be isolated road by the time the end of the day comes. It's a perfect exit from the shop, I'll just say. Again, guys, I just wanna say it one last time. Thanks to everyone at Soul Speed for taking on the project. I mean, obviously you give them the money, they're gonna wanna do good work, but you know, I'm from out of town and these guys have been treating me fair, so I always want to give them the shout out. But two, it's just nice to see the thing that you want in person. This is the goal. A little place of my own one day. One last look at the Supra before we go. Yeah, appreciate the ride, man.
Oh, thank you for you give me job to do, honey, bro. I don't want to go home later. My wife said no money, no honey, man.
I know that's right.
Right?
I hope I did some kind of cool transition, but my work day is 99% of the way over. I have a brief sorry, I've been eating cashews. I have a brief window to get over there real quick and pick up my car before they close for the day. So that's what we're doing. It's time. I can't wait. I'm super excited. Back on scene. This car is my pride and joy. It's not perfect, but it's mine. Right now, my car is officially ready for supercharging. I could have supercharged it, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to supercharge it without the drive shaft being solid. I didn't want to supercharge it without the rear axles being solid. And I definitely want to get all that power on the ground. So I got rear cradle lockout. I got the drive shaft. I got the rear axles. I didn't think that this day would ever happen, man. I've been building cars on, you know, a video game designer's budget for a long time. And for most of my career, there's not a lot of budget. I'm just going to be honest. But my God, no sense in delaying it. Let's turn it on. I'm going to drive home. Make sure I'm good. One thing I do need to say is they actually ran into a little bit of issue with the car. They said it was leaking fluid from the differential, and they sealed it up, and there was a sensor they had to replace, which I'll trust. The sensor was like a $13 sensor. Adding some diff fluid, I think they charged me like $70, which is not too bad. But I was thinking about it. I was like, I didn't see a speck of nothing on my driveway before I came here. So this whole setup has been on faith. I'll be honest. I work all day, and I was able to drop the car off so that they could get it done while I was up here. And I just kind of have to trust that I was, that they're honest. They seem like nice folks, so I don't have any reason to think that they're not. But thank you, Soul Speed. Appreciate it. Got me right one more time. Nothing left to do but turn on some music, drive home, and enjoy this thing. I'll let my face tell you if I got some or not. It's not more powerful, don't get me wrong. I don't want you guys to think there's no power has been added yet. It's ready for power. So it may drive the same. Actually, I should feel a little different with the cradle lockout. It might be a lot harder of a ride. So, shit, I'll let you know. All right, I got it in 5th gear, so I should be able to vlog real quick. 2 quick observations. The first, the car feels a little bit slower. It feels heavier, and I didn't look in the trunk, so I don't know if they put my extra parts back there, which maybe, but like my car feels way more solid. It feels solid. It doesn't feel bouncy back there at all. This thing feels like it's got a booty. So I don't know. I'll say it's a part win and it's a part loss. The win is my tires feel connected to the ground. I feel solid. It feels a little bit more rigid. Oh no, you don't want it. Don't do that. Don't do that. In regards to the ride comfort, I feel the road a little bit more though. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel a little bit of a little bit more bumpiness, but not sharp bumpiness. There's like a tiny little rumble that I'm experiencing right now, as if I was driving over, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's just, there's an interesting feeling I got. So anyway, but it does feel a little bit slower. All right, now having finally driven it home, I got a couple things to say, and I think I can better articulate what I was trying to say earlier. I can feel that more weight was added to the back. The weight from the rear axles was significant last night. I think it feels like an extra 70 pounds is added in the back and low to the ground. But the good news is this car feels stout. It feels secure. It feels sturdy. It feels pointed. I don't feel like it has as much wiggly bounce when I go over bumps. It feels like it just basically maintains itself actually very well. So it's ready. If it hasn't been ready ever before, it's ready now. This is the farthest I've taken any of the project cars that I've ever built in my entire life. Since high school, through college, through early career, and let's call it late stage career in my industry right now. I've always wanted to work on a car. I've always wanted to finish a car. And the one area that I just seemed to always stop was forced induction. Even with the Corvette, I was excited about having the Corvette. I wanted to supercharge the Corvette. Sold the Corvette. So I promised that I wouldn't sell this car until I finished it, and I'm making true on that. I haven't sold it. I haven't got any buyers either, so I haven't tried. But I'm going to finish this car, and it feels damn good to say that. Also, weight loss journey is still in effect. I believe I can see that I've lost weight, but I'm doing 3 miles a day every single day, rain or shine, and getting my workout in, and I quit soda, and I quit junk food and all that kind of stuff. So I got, the cruise is coming. The birthday cruise is coming, and I want to get right at least one time in my life, so why not do it?
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.